Behind you stands a symbol of oppression, Steam, where 1,000 PC gamers have languished under the name of this man, Gabe Newell, who has been held up to you as the shining example of PC. You have been supplied with the false idol to stop you from tearing down this corrupt platform.
Hey everyone, how's it going? I am Xeracon and I am back once again. So, today I have some very bad news for you all. Valve is taking a big fat L, and it's honestly their own doing. So, the Steam Deck is back in stock. So, hooray, it's back in stock. Bad news is Valve has increased the price tremendously. Yeah, that's right. They've raised the price of the Steam Deck. Remember how you could get the 512 gigabyte OLED model for $549.99, and you can get the 1 terabyte OLED model for $649.99? Well, Valve has decided to raise the price of the 512 gigabyte OLED model to $789, and the 1 terabyte model is $949. Yeah, you heard that. $949. That from $650 essentially. That is nearly what, 200 and that's $300 more than it was before. That is at least for a 40% dollar markup. Like, we're getting close to 50% markup. How do you charge that much more over that model? You're charging nearly $1,000 for what, a 5-year-old model, a 5-year-old piece of hardware? That is insane. It's ridiculous. And this is the price that you see the Xbox Series Ally X that costs nearly $1,000. That's the price of a now PS5 Pro essentially. Valve is charging that much for a Steam Deck. That is insane. It's ridiculous. And of course, they've been trying to do stuff, try to mitigate costs with like they cut out entirely the LCD model, which was the cheapest model you could get, and that was only $400, which was a good entry point for people who wanted to get a Steam Deck, but they cut that off. And I can understand why they did that because of costs, but now the fact that they're raising the prices I cannot understand that, and I cannot excuse that at all. And it's even impacting their refurbished models as well. So, like, if you look here, you can see that a 512 gigabyte OLED model now costs $630. A 1 terabyte refurbished model costs $760. And, the only reasonable prices would probably be the LCD models, but of course those are all out of stock, and those probably will never be in stock again because no one's going to, try to get them sent away and try to get them replaced, or rather, no one's going to, just be giving them up. It's just, no one's going to do this. I mean, these are prices that you would see scalpers. These are prices you would see from people reselling on eBay, and I've seen cheaper units than this. And of course, those prices are going to go up through the roof. But just to show you how ridiculous this price increase is, let me tell you something here. My Steam Deck limited edition OLED costs $680. That is cheaper than obviously the Steam OLED, but it's cheaper than the 512 OLED model. My limited edition is cheaper than the cheapest version you can buy right now. It's cheaper than the 1 terabyte OLED refurbished model. That is insane. So naturally, it goes without saying that if you bought a Steam Deck before these price increases happened, you ended up pretty well. But the problem is that people who didn't buy one because they wanted to get one cheaper, and sure, Valve has had discounts, I'm not going to deny that, but because the units were out of stock, anyone who's been trying to get one is now, just essentially going to have to wait even longer because, sure, they're back in stock, but the reason why they're going to be back in stock for a while is because no one's going to want to buy them because Valve is overcharging them. They are ripping people off big time. And if the Steam Deck costs this much, how much will the Steam machine cost? This is something that's going to be 6 times more powerful than the deck. At this point, it's pretty much confirmed that the Steam machine is going to cost more than $1,000. And at that point, it's pretty much dead in the water. Like, there's no way this thing is going to sell well. And the crazy thing is, it probably had a chance to begin with. I mean, sure, the hardware wasn't necessarily impressive or anything, but if it was priced reasonably, it could have done pretty decently. It definitely would have done a whole lot better than the original Steam machine. Additionally, Valve has done a great job at making sure that Proton is better than it was back then, and SteamOS 3.0 is pretty well. And I mean, just Linux gaming in general is pretty well. I mean, my my entire 2025 year in review for Steam has been solely on Linux, whether it's on the Steam Deck or on my desktop. So gaming on Linux is definitely doable. But all of that is moot if the product itself is just too expensive. Seriously, you'd be much better off just getting an Ally X, or I don't remember what the price of a Lenovo Legion Go is. You'd be better off just getting one of those, and if you want to be based and Linux pilled, just go ahead and flash SteamOS on there. But what I want to know is why Valve didn't just swallow the costs and keep things the same, because they already are making money from Steam. So it's not like they couldn't, try to ride this out and hope that things get better. Or better yet, just don't restock the units for a little while longer and see if the RAM prices would get better before trying to sell some more Steam Decks. Yes, I understand that for people who want to get one, not having an option is an absolute, but I think people would have rather have waited a bit longer than having a actual in-stock unit that costs nearly 50% more than it did before. And I really wanted to give the Steam machine a chance if it costs less than $1,000. But if it costs more than that, there's nothing I can do. Unless there's a very good bundle where Valve has the Steam machine and the Steam frame together for, say $1,500-$1,600, I would have been fine with that. Maybe $1,700. But if it's going to be more than that, then there's no deal. There's nothing that Valve can say or do that would make things better, because sure, I would just hate having to work with small form factor again, but I could go and put in a 9060 XT, put in a spare Ryzen 5 7600X, just put that in, a small case, hook that up to my TV, and be fine. But I want something that would be a little bit smaller, and also I wouldn't have to actually put together, because that's, like I said, the big problem I have is just I hate working with small form factor. But I would rather do that because it's going to be cheaper, and there's just no excuse for this at all. Like, I understand that with the RAM prices being as they are, things are definitely more expensive for manufacturing, but at the end of the day, Valve is the one who sets the price for these things, and they need to be held accountable for it. So it's like, at the end of The Dark Knight, I mean, granted, there are two scenes you could pull from. It's like the first one where Harvey says, you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Well, guess what happens? We're at the end of The Dark Knight, where the PC gamers are the ones telling Valve, you're the one with the prices, Gabe, so point them at the people responsible for paying them. And, then that's when Gabe just does Russian roulette and just points at everyone. And then, it looks like the prices went off on the gamers. And so we're the ones who have to pay for it now. But that will do it for today. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Tell me how much of an L Valve is taking. And also, what? Do not buy the Steam Deck. That's actually going to be the one thing that I definitely say is do not buy the Steam Deck. Do not try to buy one. I mean, if you want to buy one used. Maybe you can find one that's better priced. I doubt it, because people are going to take advantage of this. But if you can find one that's better priced, do it. Do not buy one through Valve, because Valve is ripping you off. And I would rather, granted, I don't want you getting ripped off at all, but I would rather you get ripped off from someone who isn't Valve, essentially. And you might even get a better price from them anyway. So, but all in all, just do not buy the Steam Deck. It is not worth your money at this point. And like I said, it's 5-year-old hardware, and you deserve better than this. So, until next time, everyone, I am Xeracon signing off. Have a good one.